everyone, and welcome to week 8. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July. So you can see I posted the module for the week, and I'm just going to kind of give you an overview. This week, what you're working on is getting the rest of the BRIs completed, so the word list, all the oral and comprehension, and then finishing up the listening comprehension section. So you have all your scores complete. There's going to be 2 activities for this week's module that will be due by next Thursday, and then I'll post the next online class then. The first activity is to visit the discussion board you can see here, and this is you're just going to go ahead and think about your child's weaknesses, post one of their weaknesses, and then describe an activity or strategy you could do to help with that weakness. And the idea here is that the activity or strategy you're putting here is something that you could use in your lesson plan, which we'll talk more about next week. So that's the discussion board. Then you have activity 2, which is the 4 additional assessments we talked about last week in class. And I know I said 5 last week, but it was 4. So that's a good thing, right? So you're going to go ahead and identify your students' areas of weaknesses and identify 4 additional mini assessments that you could give to gather more data and information on those weaknesses. I went ahead and provided a link here for a sample so you could see what that looks like, and here it is. You could just literally insert the mini assessment into the document, just like I did here. So for example, the assessment is called listening exercise. Here's the description. Here's the assessment. Here's why it was chosen, and then the APA format for that. So you're going to do 4 of those that you could use with your child. And the important thing for that is to make sure that for every assessment you put, you linking it back to what you identified on the BRI. So you just always have something to go back to. And I know last week we also talked about the fact that if you have older kids or kids that are reading at higher levels, you can look for assessments on comprehension or on advanced vocabulary, like using the Greek and Latin roots, or more advanced type phonics skills. So that's what you want to keep in mind depending on the level of child you're working with. So you can submit your mini assessments right here once those are done by next Thursday. And I also posted in the module just some resources that I found might be helpful. This one, when you open it, it's super long, but just use the table of contents to identify what you're really looking for an assessment. Again, this focuses on phonics assessments, and if I can add some more in there, I'll see if I can find some more resources for things like comprehension or that advanced type vocab. I also mentioned last week the fcrr.org. That's another good place to go for some activities for lessons or maybe even some assessments. And I think that's it for this week. So I'll be here and able to answer questions as you're working through the process. I'm looking forward to the discussion board and seeing what you guys are finding when you're looking at your students' test results. Other than that, email me with questions or call if you need to, and I will post the next module again next Thursday for the following week. So we don't meet this week, and then we don't meet next week. Our next face-to-face meeting is July 19th, and we'll be doing conferences and going over some more strategies that you can use for building those lesson plans. All right, have a good night. I'll talk to you guys, or I'll be in touch with you all soon.